Good afternoon, friends. Satyam Vada Dharmachara, Satyamev Jayate. Welcome to today's news desk on income tax, GST, and corporate law. Let's start from the income tax. Madras High Court. Interest received in advance on discounting of the bills against letter of credit is taxable on accrual basis. Madras High Court held that income received in advance in nature of the interest income on discounting of bills against letter of credit is to be subjected to taxation on accrual basis and not on receipt basis as per mercantile system of accounting. Next case, Kolkata Tribunal. Accumulation of the income up to 15% is to be allowed on gross receipt without deducting any expenditure. 15% accumulation for application in the future has to be calculated on gross receipt and not on net receipt after deduction of the revenue expenditure. Second, in absence of any adverse view against assessee in respect of to its activities under section 215, Commissioner appeals suo motu observation that assessee trust activities were not covered under section 215 was perceived bad. Donation to the charitable organization which is established for taking care of the pregnant women or ladies could be allowed as application of income under section 11. Next case, Madras High Court, ITAT erred in dismissing appeal on account of the low tax effect as associate case fall within exception. Madras High Court held that revenue appeal could not be dismissed on account and matter under exception stated in para 10C of the circular number 3 of 2018 dated 11th July 2018 tax effect when an audit objection was raised by department. CBDT order dated 19th October 2020, CBDT issued direction for exercising power of the survey under section 133A by the Income Tax Authority. The Taxation and Other Laws Relaxation and Amendment of the Certain Provision Act 2020 has redefined the meaning of the Income Tax Authority for purpose of the power of the survey under section 133A. Thus, the CBDT has issued direction for the exercising such power by the TDS charge, Central Charge International Taxation Division, any AC, NFAC units, exemption charge, and INCI charges. Next case, Karnataka High Court. TPA, third party administrator, are liable to deduct TDS under section 194J while making payment to the hospital on behalf of the insurance company. Third party administrator who was responsible for making payment to hospital for rendering services on medical or health insurance policies issued by the insurance companies was liable to deduct tax at source under section 194J from payment made to the hospitals. Next year, Patna High Court, STT deducted but not paid couldn't be allowed a deduction by virtue of section 43B. Even where mercantile system of accounting was adopted, deduction of the STT would not be allowed unless STT amount was deposited with authorities. Let's cover updates on international taxation. Delhi Tribunal, explanation 7 to section 9, income deemed to be accrue or arise in India has retro effect if it was inserted in furtherance of the object of the insertion of explanation 5. In view of the amended provision of section 911 of the Income Tax Act, read with the explanation 7, transaction involving sale of the share of foreign company which held investment in India would not be taxable. Section 911 was amended and explanation 5 was inserted by the Finance Act 2012, giving retrospective effect from 1st April 1962, and because of the apprehension and ambiguity in said explanation, a SOM committee was constituted, and on recommendation of the SOM committee, explanation 6 and 7 were inserted by Finance Act 2015. Since explanation 5 had been given retrospective effect, and explanation 6 and 7 has been inserted in furtherance of the object of the insertion of explanation 5. These two explanation could not be read in isolation but had to be tagged along with explanation 5 so that both explanation had to be given a retrospective effect. Accordingly, assessing officer was to be directed to read explanation 7 as applicable for year under consideration, and impact addition was to be deleted. Madras High Court, ITAT to decide issue of the appropriateness of the method for the transfer pricing adjustment considering multiplicity of the litigation. Madras High Court held in this case that where tribunal in case of the assessee which was manufacturer of various kinds of the threads had held that in order for the previous assessment year, it had clearly been decided that for international transaction, comparable and control pricing method was appropriately used for making transfer pricing adjustment under section 92 in comparison to the transactional net margin method, and view of the same for recalculating transfer pricing adjustment for present assessment year 2009-10 matter was remitted back to the TPO, but it was found that earlier order made an open remand to authorities below to decide as to which is the most appropriate method to be adopted, CUP method or TNM method. There was a misreading of the previous order by tribunal while passing impugned order, which has resulted in multiplicity of the litigation, and after remand also a second round of appeals had again come up before tribunal itself. Multiplicity of litigation and rounds of the appeals should have been seen by tribunal, and therefore tribunal would decide on issue of appropriateness of method of the transfer pricing adjustment. The tribunal, being a final fact-finding body, ought to have finalized said exercise of final fact-finding at its own level instead of the remanding cases again and again, which defeats very purpose of expeditious disposal of the transfer pricing adjustment in case of international transaction under section 92C. Read with relevant rules framed under provision of Act. As such, huge delays upon remand, reassessment or re-adjudication, and then again second round of the appeal before tribunal unnecessarily project a very bad image of the delay by revenue department on international scenario, where expectation of revenue department of India is of the expeditious adjudication and not on remand and re-adjudication and then second rounds of the appeal, as if it was a subtle game between the assessee and revenue authority, with revenue authority as well as final fact finding appellate forum. There are two places where issues like this are expected to achieve a finality. Rajasthan High Court, online fantasy sports game is a game of the skill and not betting and gambling. Rajasthan High Court, where read petition has been filed alleging that Dream One Fantasy Private Limited provides a platform to its user for playing sports and games on a virtual platform, which are games of the chance, thereby constituting illegal act of the gambling betting, since the result of the fantasy game depends on a skill of participant and not sheer chance, and winning and losing of the virtual team created by participant is also independent of outcome of game or event in the real world. Format of the online fantasy game offer is a game of the mere skill, and their business has protection under Article 19(1)(g) of the Constitution of India. Further, as regard issues as to whether Dream 11 is wrongly classifying its virtual online games under wrong entry for GST and is also violating the Rule 31A sub Rule 3 of the CGST Rule 2018 to evade GST, it would be appropriate to leave said second issue for GST authority to consider in accordance with law. Next case, Bombay High Court, REIT filed for the extension of the time limit to file GSTR 9 and 9C till 31st December 2020, matter to be heard on 27th October 2020, where petitioner confederation of the GST practitioners and industries claim for their direction to respond to allow extend time limit for submitting forms GSTR 9 and 9C for financial year 2018-19 up to 31st December 2020, matter to be listed for hearing on 27th October 2020. Madhya Pradesh High Court, GST authorities had power to seize cash from assessee under section 67 subsection 2 of the CGST Act. Madras High Court expression things occurring in section 67 subsection 2 would cover cash also. GST authority are empowered to seize cash from assessee under section 67 subsection 2. CBSE order dated 19th October 2020, CBIC prescribed procedure for referring technical or legal issue under the Central Excise and Service Tax. CBIC has prescribed guidelines for making references on the technical issues, seeking clarification from it to be made after due vetting and under the signature of the jurisdictional principal, chief commissioner or principal director general or director general. Such instruction will be applicable to all matter concerning central excise and service tax beings of the board. Thank you so much for watching our news days of income tax, GST and corporate law. Thank you so much.